feast in his house like the feast of a king.
See, he having a great feast. He partying big time. He don't care nothing about the Lord. That was his problem. Go ahead.
And Nabal's heart was merry within him, for he was very drunken.
See, he drunk, he all messed up. That's all he thinking about is having him some fun. Go ahead.
Wherefore she told him nothing less or more until the morning light.
So wasn't no need of talking to him. He was drunk. Go ahead. So she waited till the morning. Ain't no need of talking to a drunk man. So she didn't tell him, but she knew she had to tell him. Go ahead.
37. But it came to pass in the morning when the wine was gone out of Nabal, and his wife had told him these things, that his heart died within him, and he became as a stone.
See, now she told him the whole thing that happened and what went down like she was supposed to. She told him. She didn't try to hide it or nothing. She told him what happened, and the man must have had a stroke or something. The Lord gave the man a stroke. It says heart died within him, and he became a stone. That's what happens when you have a stroke or something. You get messed up. Go ahead, 38.
And it came to pass about 10 days after that the Lord smote Nabal, that he died.
And then the Lord killed the man. He didn't kill him right away. He lived good 10 days. And they didn't have no life support to put him on, so he was just still sitting there looking crazy for 10 days. But it came to pass about 10 days after that the Lord smote Nabal, that he died. Isn't that something? Hey, the Lord fixed the whole thing.
That's right.
And now, like we read earlier, because as long as Nabal was alive, Abigail was stuck to him. As long as he was alive, like we read earlier in 1 Corinthians. But now when he was dead, that was it. The handwriting was on the wall. Go ahead, 39.
And when David heard that Nabal was dead, he said, blessed be the Lord.
Now, it's kind of bad when the man died. You said, blessed be the Lord. But the real blessing that he really means is that, hey, the Lord took care of it for him. He didn't even have to go do it, because Nabal would have been dead 10 days ago if it wasn't for the woman. He would have been dead. Being dead wasn't no problem as far as David was concerned. But he happy that, look, the Lord did really show. The Lord did really show. Just like I'm going to share this with, just like something similar like that just happened. Brother Nehemiah was agonizing over his job. He in Philadelphia today. He agonizing over his job, and he about ready, got into it with his boss, and he about ready to leave and go get another job, but then they want him to work on the Sabbath. He don't know what to do. Oh, man. And I know the dude going to fire me because they got into it, and he's like, I don't know what to do. Lord got to show me what to do. I say, well, okay, the Lord can show you. And then he ready to leave because he think the dude going to fire him. And then he go to work. They say, well, just go on back. Let him fire. If he fired, then you know you got to go. I said, you didn't cut the bridge down behind you, did you? He said, nah, I don't do that no more. Because, you know, we good for destroying the bridge. Like, take this job and shove it. Then, yeah, of course you can't go back then. I said, you didn't do that? Then he said, no, I don't do that no more. He went back to work, worried about getting fired, got a text from the guy. Somebody said, 15 minutes later, they said, oh, boy died. Like, what? They said, I just heard a text from him. They said, yeah, he dead now, though. And he was dead. Last week this happened. So that was the end of them worries, wasn't it?
The Lord's anointed, boy.
So verse 39 said, when David heard that Nabal was dead, he said, blessed be the Lord that do what?
That hath pleaded the cause of my reproach from the hand of Nabal, and hath kept his servant from evil. For the Lord hath returned the wickedness of Nabal upon his own head. And David sent and communed with Abigail to take her to him to wife. And when the servants of David were come to Abigail to Carmel, they spake unto her, saying, David sent us unto thee to take thee to him to wife. And she arose and bowed herself on her face to the earth and said, Behold, let thine handmaid be a servant to wash the feet of the servants of my Lord.
Well, she was a humble sister, but go ahead.
Verse 42. And Abigail hasted and arose and rode upon an ass, with 5 damsels of hers that went after her, and she went after the messengers of David and became his wife.
And that is the end. But that go to show you, it ain't the end of the lesson. Don't start clapping, man. They getting happy. They about to say, go back to Proverbs. Go back to Proverbs 14. But that go to show you, if your husband is like Nabal, then the Lord can still handle that, can't he?
Yep.
What can't the Lord handle? So you ain't even got to worry about it. You ain't got to keep calling me all times of night. The Lord can deal with it. Proverbs 14. And most of the time it's not that case. But even if it is, the Lord can handle. 14:1. Proverbs 14:1. Because on the other hand, the woman can be crazy. Notice this. Go ahead.
Every wise woman buildeth her house, but the foolish plucketh it down with her hands.
So just like the man can mess his house up, like the scripture we read that said, any man that troubleth his house shall inherit the wind. That's what Nabal got. But the woman can do the same thing. Because it takes two to make it work and become one. So the woman can do the exact same thing. And there's nothing the man can do to change that. Even though the man is supposed to be in charge, supposed to be the head, but the woman have to allow that. But every wise woman builded her house. See, if a woman is wise, then she going to do things to make her house prosper and increase and not mess it up. Even if her husband not doing everything he's supposed to do, she's still going to operate with some wisdom and know how to deal with that because the Lord will show you. So every wise woman build her house, but the foolish plucketh it down with her hands. So a woman can mess the whole house up, can't she? That shows you how much power both parties have. You want to destroy the marriage? Hey, a man can do it and a woman can do it. He said the foolish plucketh it down with her hands. Let's go to Judges 19 right quick. Let's look at a lightweight example of something like that. Judges 19. Judges 19. And we're going to pick it up at verse 1. 19:1. Okay. Go ahead.
And it came to pass in those days, when there was no king in Israel, that there was a certain Levite sojourning on the side of Mount Ephraim, who took to him a concubine out of Bethlehem, Judah. And his concubine played the whore against him, and went away from him unto her father's house to Bethlehem, Judah, and was there 4 whole months.
Okay, this concubine, which was a wife, just didn't have all the same rights as that's why they call her a concubine. But so she was married to this guy, but what it said, verse 2, his concubine played the whore against him and went away from him unto her father's house to Bethlehem, Judah, and was there 4 whole months. Now, usually, hey, a man ain't going to go for that at all. And the Lord don't even require that a man stay with a woman to do that. And usually that's not what's going to happen. Matter of fact, a lot of times we know even in this world, a lot of times it'll be some bloodshed. But this man, hey, she done left and played the whore and left to her father's house. This man did something unique for a man. Verse 3, what'd he do?
And her husband arose and went after her to speak friendly unto her.
Now that has happened, but that don't happen in most cases. But that's what he did. He ready to forgive the woman. She done went out and fornicated, and really he don't have to deal with her no more. But her husband arose and went after her to speak friendly unto her. Go ahead.
And to bring her again, having his servant with him and a couple of asses, and she brought him into her father's house. And when the father of the damsel saw him, he rejoiced to meet him.
See, now this is kind of a strange meeting, though, because under the circumstances, she been out there playing around, but he ready to forgive, and he went to her father's house and finally met her father. And they had a good time for a while because the father was happy to meet him, verse 4.
And his father-in-law, the damsel's father, retained him, and he abode with him 3 days. So they did eat and drink and lodged there.
So he stayed there for 3 days, but he really went to get his wife, who we saw then been playing around on him, which is totally contrary to God. God don't play that at all. 22. Skip down to verse 22, because they stayed a while, and the man kept trying to get them to stay, but it kind of worked out, I guess, how the Lord wanted, because he left at a certain time, and he made it to another town, and it got dark in this other town when he left. So he taking his wife back with him, taking his concubine, and they on the way back home. He done went and got her even after she done messed around. But they got stuck in this town on the way, 22. And what happened? And now he in another place. Now he ain't with the father-in-law house. Go ahead.
Now, as they were making their hearts merry, behold, the men of the city, certain sons of Belial, beset the house round about, and beat at the door, and spake to the master of the house, the old man, saying, bring forth the man that came into thine house, that we may know him.
That show you wickedness been going on a long time. Because when this man got to this town, he saw this old man. This old man saw him, and you know he was evidently a righteous guy. The old man, he made him come to his house. He said, look, y'all got to get out the streets over here. You know, you come stay with me. Mm-hmm. And the man said, well, we appreciate it because we ain't had nobody take us in yet. He said, I got plenty of stuff to take care of. You ain't got to worry about nothing. I'm going to take care of you. Because that's how the people that's righteous, that's how they tried to look out for strangers. So he took them into his house, but when he get them into his house, they eating and drinking. Next thing you know, the wicked townspeople, Israel has some wickedness going on big time back here. Mm-hmm. The wicked townspeople, call them sons of Satan, sons of Belial. They come knocking at the door because they had saw the man. And remember, he with his concubine and all. So they said, bring forth the man that came into thy house that we would know. These some sodomites back here. That show you sodomy been around a long time. Mm-hmm. They some sodomites. They said, we saw you had some fresh meat coming to town. Let us have them. That show you, and that's how them sodomites are. They get more aggressive and aggressive. Mm-hmm. They're going to force themselves on something. Talking about they in love. That's look like rape, right? That's what they saying. Bring them out. Gang rape at that. But go ahead, 23.
And the man, the master of the house, went out unto them and said unto them, nay, my brethren, nay, I pray you, do not so wickedly.
Boy, he just like, I can't believe this. Mm-hmm. No, don't do this. You know, because he feels definitely responsible because he let the man come into his house to take care of him. He said, nay, my brethren, nay, I pray you, don't do so wickedly. This is wickedness. What you trying to do? Go ahead.
Seeing that this man is come into mine house, do not this folly.
Go ahead.
Behold, here is my daughter, a maiden, and his concubine. Them I will bring out now, and humble ye them, and do with them what seemeth good unto you. But unto this man do not so vile a thing.
See, and this man, it seemed crazy that he would offer him his own daughter and the man concubine, but that shows you how outlandish sodomy is. Mm-hmm. It's so outlandish if people just intent on doing some evil. Here, just do this evil. This is at least normal evil. You really out the box with the evil. You talking about sleep with this man? Ugh. That shows you how backwards that is. And he willing to sacrifice. He said, look, I will give you my daughter. And he got a woman, you know, do something normal at least with your time. Yeah, I send them out here. And you know, they don't want no woman no. When you done went too far, your mind done got messed up. Something's wrong, boy. Mm-hmm. Trying to give you a woman and you getting upset, getting offended. Verse 25.
But the men would not hearken to him.
See, they upset. I dare him try to give us a woman. You know you sick. Go ahead.
So the man took his concubine and brought her forth unto them, and they knew her and abused her all the night until the morning. And when the day began to spring, they let her go.
See, now it ended up that they did take the woman. He just put her out there, and they end up taking her, and they abused her all the night until the morning. And when the day began to spring, they let her go. They probably didn't want to do it, but they said, well, this is the best we can do. Come on. So This is a terrible situation, but
Yes.
look at what the woman, and the Lord had to allow this. This wouldn't happen if the Lord allowed. See, when you done wickedness, the Lord got some wicked people out here that he can let do some wickedness to you. The man had no idea, no intentions of nothing like this happening. He went to forgive the concubine, didn't he?
Yeah.
He went to get her and bring her home and forgive her for playing around on him. But hey, evidently somebody else had some other ideas. Somebody else had some other ideas, and it just shed light on all the wickedness that Israel was full of. You know, even a woman, you know, playing the harlot, hey, it's some man somewhere she played the harlot. You think the Lord know who he is too. Some man or men. So, but go ahead.
Verse 26. Then came the woman in the dawning of the day and fell down at the door of the man's house where her Lord was till it was light. And her Lord rose up in the morning and opened the doors of the house and went out to go his way. And behold, the woman, his concubine, was fallen down at the door of the house, and her hands were upon the threshold. And he said unto her, Up, and let us be going. But none answered. Then the man took her up upon an ass, and the man rose up and gat him unto his place.
See, now, nobody had envisioned this. He will, I guess he said, well, look, she done played around anyway. It ain't going to, hey, go ahead, get us out of this situation, and we're going to go on home. He's still ready to take her home, but he don't know. They done did us so bad, they done killed the woman. They done killed her. So nobody envisioned that as far as they were concerned. But go ahead.
Verse 29. And when he was come into his house, he took a knife and laid hold on his concubine and divided her, together with her bones, into 12 pieces, and sent her into all the coasts of Israel.
Now, he did some radical stuff because he said, boy, Israel is messed up. They need a wake-up call. Israel is messed up. We supposed to be a holy nation, and this is what's going on? You know, it's bad enough she was playing the harlot, then he couldn't even get her back home safely because of these sodomites. And so he cut her because she was dead. He cut up and sent her to the 12 coasts of Israel. Go ahead.
Verse 30. And it was so that all that saw it said, there was no such deed done nor seen from that day that the children of Israel came up out of the land of Egypt unto this day. Consider it, take advice, and speak your mind.
Hey, he got everybody's attention then. They said, we ain't never seen nothing like this. So it's something we need to talk about something. No, we got some issues going on. And they end up talking about it, and they end up going to make war with those wicked people, and a whole lot of people died on both sides. But go to Genesis 19. That ain't the first time stuff like that done happened, though. That ain't the first time. Genesis 19. But again, that couldn't have happened to that concubine unless the Lord allowed it to happen. And it's no scripture telling, but it's likely, it probably wouldn't have happened if she hadn't did what she had did that she shouldn't have did, out there playing the harlot. But we don't know for sure. Just like I don't know what happened in this situation, but I know something had to be wrong. Genesis 19, and pick it up at verse 1. This is Lot in Sodom and Gomorrah, where sodomy come from. They was doing the same thing way back here. Go ahead, 19 and 1.
And there came two angels to Sodom at even, and Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, and he bowed himself his face toward the ground.
See, now, these two angels showing up to deliver Lot because they about to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. Verse 2.
And he said, Behold, now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early and go on your ways. And they said, Nay, but we will abide in the streets all night.
See, Lot don't really know they angels, but go ahead.
Verse 3. And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered into his house, and he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young, all the people from every quarter.
Now, this went on way before Israel wasn't even a nation here. See, that was Israel as a nation that last incident took place. Israel wasn't a nation here. This back in Abraham time. But this same foolishness was going on, and that's where we get the term sodomite from this town right here. So they did it first. So I guess they had a good example on what to follow when Israel went crazy. Go ahead, verse 5.
And they called unto Lot and said unto him, where are the men which came into thee this night? Bring them out unto us that we may know them.
See, that's what always happens. This sodomite stuff get out of control because your mind is messed up.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can't even control yourself. Now you're trying to force yourself on another man. Don't force yourself. We hear that stuff in prison, but this on the street. Don't be surprised when it starts happening around here now because they done lost their mind.
That's right, brother.
He said, all these men come say, we see you got some fresh meat. Bring them out that we may know them. They want to lay with them. Men with men. Only difference in this case, they so dumb, they don't have an idea that these are angels. You couldn't lay with them anyway. So that ain't about to happen. Go ahead.
Verse 6. And Lot went out at the door unto them and shut the door after him.
See, that's the one that always brings somebody under their roof. They feel responsible. So he went out and shut the door. Go ahead.
And said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly.
Same thing. Go ahead.
Behold, now I have 2 daughters which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. Only until these men do nothing. For therefore came they under the shadow of my roof.
See, that seemed bad that he offer his own daughters up, but under circumstance, he feel he ain't got no choice. He don't feel he got no power to stop him, and he trying to give him the lesser 2 evils than messing with these men who he didn't brought in this roof. But I think I'd have had to just fight it out. But they probably would have raped all of us then. That's just a bad situation, ain't it? But he tried to give them the lesser 2 evils. He said, look, just take my daughters. They ain't never been with a man. They are virgins. Don't you remember that's supposed to be something prized? They virgins. Take them. Only don't touch these men because I brought them under my roof to protect them. I'm responsible. Verse 9.
And they said, stand back. And they said again, this one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will needs be a judge.
Oh, they got offended. Get back. Oh, no. I know he ain't offer us no sisters. Oh, he trying to be funny. He got jokes. Now he trying to judge us. He know we don't like no women. He trying to be funny. Go ahead.
Now will we deal worse with thee than with them.
See, they said, we getting ready to get you. We gonna hurt you worse. We gonna do you worse than we was gonna do with them. Go ahead.
And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door.
See, they snapping now. But good thing them ain't no men inside. Good thing they angels. They ain't even got to worry about it. Lot didn't know. Go ahead.
Verse 10. But the men put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house to them and shut the door.
See, these men, they call them men, but they angels. Go ahead.
And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness.
That's how you know they wasn't regular men. They ain't even have to ask nobody. They smote them with blindness. Go ahead.
Both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door.
That's they playing up. Go ahead.
And the men said unto Lot, hast thou here any besides? Son-in-law and thy sons and thy daughters, and whatsoever thou hast in the city, bring them out of this place.
Okay, say get them out of here because we getting ready. Verse 13, read that right quick.
For we will destroy this place.
They say we getting ready to destroy this place. That's what we here for. You got anybody here that you want to get out safely? You better get them now. Skip down to 17. Go ahead.
And it came to pass when they had brought them forth abroad that he said, escape for thy life.
Now look. The angel took him and gave him a head start because Lot talked to his sons-in-laws who was supposed to be engaged basically to his daughters. They didn't want to listen. They said, oh, man, you tripping. Lord ain't about to do nothing. You know, it ain't too bad around Sodom and Gomorrah. They in the midst of all this food. They used to it. They probably was liking it evidently, but they didn't want to leave. Lot gave them a chance. They could have been saved. They didn't leave, so Lot just took his family, his wife and his 2 daughters. He just took them. And they got to getting. And the angels told them, When they got so far, they said, escape for your life, do what else or don't do?
Look not behind thee,
Don't look behind you. Get out of here and don't even look back. Go ahead.
neither stay thou in all the plain. Escape to the mountain, lest thou be consumed.
Unless you be consumed, you'll get destroyed. If you don't pay attention to my instructions, skip down now to 24 because they had got away. They had got away, but not all. Just like Jesus said to the disciples, he said, now y'all are clean, but not all of y'all. He knew about Judas. Go ahead, 24.
Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven.
He rained brimstone and fire out of heaven. Go ahead.
And he overthrew those cities and all the plain and all the inhabitants of the cities and that which grew upon the ground. But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt.
See, but something was going on with Lot's wife. Now, I don't know if she was, whatever she had going on, if she did anything wrong. Evidently, it seems like she must have had some kind of problem because she didn't follow the instructions right here. And the Lord did not give her a break, did he?
No.
So I don't even know if she was a headache to Lot or not listening to Lot or what, but I know she got separated from Lot. Lot didn't have to deal with her no more after this day. So that stands to reason. It seems like it must have been a problem, but nevertheless, it just shows you that, hey, if a brother got a wife that's not doing what she's supposed to do, hey, the Lord can handle that, like in this case. I don't know what Lot's wife was doing, but I know she got separated from Lot. Because she looked back, she didn't listen to what the instructions was behind her, and she became a pillar of salt. So just like, hey, the case of Nabal, the Lord took care of him. Hey, the Lord took care, and the Lord took care of that concubine. He let that happen to her, and he let this happen to Lot's wife. Mark, the 10th chapter. We almost done. Mark 10. Mark 10, and we're going to pick it up at verse 6. Mark 10 and verse 6. See, that's what you have to wait on. If you're in a marriage, if you're in a marriage where you have a spouse that's not doing what they supposed to do, you feel, and just totally outlandish, then the Lord still can handle that. You just wait on that. You still try to make it one because you don't know what the Lord to do. He might fix it. You still try to make it one. And when it's evident it ain't going to be one, the Lord will show you, like in this case. The Lord he divided Lot from his wife. He put that asunder. He put Nabal asunder from his wife. Mark 10 and 6. Go ahead.
But from the beginning of creation, God made them male and female.
This is the same thing we read in Matthew 19. That's how it started off in the beginning. And it's not to be put asunder. The Lord the only one got the power over that. Same thing with birth control and stuff. Hey, people ask about, well, should I do birth control? Well, why would you take that power from the Lord? If the Lord trying to create a child and you married and can do it, he said, be fruitful, multiply, and replenish. Why would you take that power? Let the Lord have it. Let his will be done. Go ahead. From the beginning of creation, God made them male and female. Go ahead.
Verse 7. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. So then they are no more twain, but one flesh. What therefore God hath joined together, let's not man put asunder.
It ain't meant to be. It shouldn't be. Go ahead.
Verse 10. And in the house his disciples asked him again of the same matter.
Later on, they said, well, look, let's get some clarity on that. That's when that eunuch stuff came up. But go ahead. And
he said unto them, whosoever shall put away his wife and marry another committeth adultery.
So a man can't get away. A man can't get away. He can put away his wife, but he marries somebody else. That's him committing adultery. Go ahead. And the woman can't get away either. Go ahead.
Verse 12. And if a woman shall put away her husband and be married to another, she committeth adultery.
So everybody committing adultery because it's not meant to be. It's a problem on every front. Now, people come all the time. They say, well, I already was married. Now I'm married again. And now I found out about the Lord. I said, you can only take it from where you at. Because they be ready with, should I get divorced now? I said, no, ain't no need of doing that. You where you at now, and the Lord can have mercy on you for the past. Now that you serve the Lord, you serve the Lord from where you at. But now, back up and read 8 one more time.
And they twain shall be one flesh.
They twain shall be one flesh.
So then, they are no more twain, but one flesh.
See, the Lord mean that. One more place, Revelation 19, and this is it. That means it can be done. That means there can be a oneness with marriage. The Lord's saying that's the way it is. So, and if everybody know what the goal is, then you can work toward that end, and you don't have to have, definitely don't have to separate, but you don't even have to have all this bickering over meaningless stuff. You don't even have to have that. Revelation 19 and verse 7. 19 and 7. And we're going to end it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him. For the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife hath made herself ready.
See, that's what, and everybody had to be prepared for marriage to make it one, to operate in the oneness that the Lord said. The permanent oneness. Everybody had to be prepared. He said, let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come. See, the Lamb did what he had to do. That's what the husband had to do. He had to set the stage for the family. The marriage of the Lamb is come, and the wife have to make herself ready in a real marriage. This is talking about God and the church, but the same thing is good for a real marriage. And his wife have made herself ready. So you have to make yourself ready for a physical marriage as well and operate in the oneness. Go ahead.
Verse 8. And to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white, for the fine linen is the righteousness of saints.
Now, this is the ultimate goal in the end with the Lord, but the same thing is the ultimate goal with a man and a wife. Hey, the marriage can be, if it's operating like the Lord said, everybody know the goal and doing what they supposed to do. Hey, it'll end on a glorious note. Just like it started when the bridegroom rejoiced to take the bride. He rejoiced over a bride. Well, you can rejoice all the way to the end if everybody just do what they supposed to do and know the importance of it. Go ahead.
And he saith unto me, right, blessed are they which are called unto the marriage supper of the Lamb. And he saith unto me, these are the true sayings of God.
And I hope you got some understanding in Jesus' name.
Sabbath announcements. Our prayer is that the eyes of your understanding were enlightened by today's lesson. DVDs and CDs of all our lessons are available. Please place your order in the offering box with your donation. Your order will be ready next Sabbath. Tune into Thy Kingdom Come television program, which airs in various locations and on YouTube. Feel free to join us at all our Bible study classes. They are Question and Answer Bible Study every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. via our conference call line. Sabbath services are held twice, Friday night at 8 p.m. and Saturday afternoon at 1 p.m. Children's Bible classes ages 4 to 12, Saturdays at 11:30. Teen Forum Bible class age 13 through 19, Saturday at 5 p.m. See your lesson heading for other class locations and information. We baptize in the name of Jesus. If you feel you are ready to be baptized, please sign the list at the podium and speak with Brother Wayne or Devin. Our dress code is all clothing should be modest in appearance. Nothing tight-fitting, overly baggy, sagging, or revealing should be worn. During services, men are to remove hats and or head coverings, while women should wear a head covering such as a hat or a scarf, according to 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verses 1 through 7. If your child becomes noisy during the lesson, distracting other members, please remove him or her from the sanctuary. For your convenience, we have a television monitoring area in the rear of the class. Any tithes and offerings should be put in an offering envelope and placed in the offering box at the front of the sanctuary. Please pray for our strength as we pray for you. Peace and blessings to you and yours in the name of Jesus.
Peace. Okay, now we at the end. I'm going to mention briefly, I mentioned last night, and I'm going to mention again that we had a couple of condolences to offer in Philadelphia. Sister Anna and Sister Doreen lost loved ones. And also here, Brother Wayne lost his aunt, was it Miss Redona Craig? I think that was the name, yeah. And so we're going to have the funeral this Tuesday, right around the corner at Guy Allen. The visitation is Tuesday from 9 to 2, where you can just go if you can't make the funeral at 2, you can go before and just visit and sign the book or whatever. That's 9 to 2, this Tuesday coming up, which is the 22nd, I believe. And after, at 2 o'clock is where we're going to have the funeral, right around the corner, which that's a good location for us. Under bad situation, it's real close, because after the funeral, we're going to have the repast here. But the funeral will be at 2 p.m. at Guy and Allen Funeral Home, which is on 11th Avenue, just a little east of Chase Street. So it's walking distance from here. And again, we want to give Brother Wayne and his family our condolences in the passing of his aunt. And other than that, if nothing else, oh yeah, I was going to mention something about the parking lot. I mentioned to some brothers. We had the parking lot paved, and it is it's paved nice, except the lines that they put, they didn't put the other lines on the other side of that middle parking spaces, because we had basically back-to-back spaces before that you can park in the middle of the parking lot. Because you got the parking space against the building, and you got the road all the way against the fence, but in the middle, it should be 2 rows. So y'all can park in 2 of those rows. The rows, is 1 row out there, but you can park behind it if you need to. And some people park across the street. If you want to, you can come over here. And so you got to start another row behind that, even though the lines are not there. So just keep that in mind. So when we start running out of space, you can, because we got another row that can be there. I think right now when I looked out there, it was empty. But just keep that in mind. Also, I mentioned the repast for Brother Wayne's aunt. So we need definitely the people to bring food. And I didn't check. I'll check and see. We'll find out if he needs the choir to sing. Do you need the choir to sing? Okay, so we're going to see if y'all come up with a song or 2. So we'll get all the details on that. So, but definitely on the repast, y'all got to know what y'all got to do so y'all can get with the menu and bring some stuff for the repast, and so we can have all that in order after the funeral Tuesday. Okay, with that said, if nothing else, we're going to stand and face the rules and close out.
Let us pray. Our Father which art in heaven,
Our Father which